All right, the first thing you're going to notice is that I have the ritual to bounce the ball. Most professional tennis players bounce the ball before they begin to serve. So the setup is to have your front foot, which is for a right-handed person, you'd have your left foot in front with your right foot diagonally back, and you want to have the weight on your back foot. And you'll rock back and make your front knee straight. So here you see that Mia doesn't start off like that. She has her weight in her front foot because her back foot, you can see, is off the ground. So obviously her weight's not back there. So after you get into position, you want to rack back and have the weight on your front. You want to wrap back and have the weight on your back foot, and you want to have your front knee straight and your back knee bent. You want to make sure you have the continental grip. You want your racket on edge, which means the top edge of the racket is facing the sky and the bottom edge of the racket is facing the court. Mia's racket looks a little bit more like a forehand grip, a semi-western grip. So we have to make sure she really has her racket on edge, not tilted, but perfectly straight. Then you take your racket back, and you want to keep in mind that you want to keep your palm down and immediately get your arm and your racket into an L position where the bottom of your racket arm, so your racket arm is the L, is the bottom of the L, and your racket is the top of the L, right? But Mia takes her, she just opens her arm up. She's opening her arm up. There we go. We want to get into that L position. You don't want to have your racket dangling behind your head so soon. Then as the weight gets put back into, as you're like really leaning backwards and then reaching for the ball, then you're going to be leaning forwards. So we've got our weight backwards and now we're leaning forwards. So go from the L and then your racket drops behind your head. And you want to aim at the ball with the edge of your racket. So right now we see that Mia's racket is not on edge. It's very hard to see actually here, but it looks like her racket is flat. It looks like her strings are facing the ground and the strings are facing the sky. I don't know. Whereas I'm aiming the edge of my racket to the ball, but at the very moment of contact, that's when I pronate. She doesn't even have to think about that. She just has to think about aiming at the ball with the edge of her racket and not and automatically when she gets to the ball, her arm will pronate so that the strings touch the ball. Now you'll notice, let's back off a little bit. You'll notice the weight transfer and the momentum for my serve. I'm heading into the court and Mia is heading a little sideways. And I'm thinking, I don't know if she's worried about going over the line, but it's okay to go over the line after you make contact. In fact, you want to have your momentum carry you into the court. So you really want to have the toss spaced in a way that makes you fall into the court, carry momentum into the court. Just watch the serve again from the beginning. There's the bouncing ritual. Front knee is straight, back knee is bent, weight should be in the back leg. Racket on edge. We should have a letter L with your arm and the racket. Now the racket goes behind the head, and your racket should be on edge. Aim at the ball with the edge of your racket, and then momentum should carry you forward into the court.